Hello friends and family, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to make ties. Ties you can use for lace-ups, straps, and drawstrings. Let's get into it.
Although this works best with a rotary blade and a meter stick, you could try with scissors. You'll just have to pin to avoid the fabric shifting and mark the lines out to cut with scissors. I'm using stretch fabric here, but you could essentially use any fabric, as long as it doesn't have fur or some sort of embellishment on it. Fold your fabric in half widthwise. If it's stretch fabric, make sure the stretch goes widthwise as well. Usually I would only fold once, but for the purpose of the video I have folded it twice. Make sure the sides and folds are all lined up. Lay out your meter stick as straight as possible and hold it down firmly. Now cut along the one side of the meter stick. You might have to do this a couple times so that it cuts through all the layers of fabric. Now cut through on the other side, being sure not to shift the meter stick. And this is what you should end up with, a very long and fairly even piece of fabric. Velvets can be very fibrous once cut, so I like to vacuum my tabletop after. Now we simply sew the sides together. Make sure the one end is lined up and sew all the way to the other end. Trying to keep the sides as lined up as possible. I prefer to use a serger, but if you do not have access to one, you can use a zigzag stitch for stretch fabrics and a straight stitch for non-stretch fabrics. Once you get to the end, chain off for quite a bit. And cut. If you need to make longer ties, simply cut extra pieces and sew the ends together like this. Try to line them up the best you can, but it's not the end of the world if it's not perfect. As you can see, mine are not perfect, but you can still line them up for when you sew the whole thing together. When sewing over those connected seams, just go slow. You can even use a pair of tweezers to line everything up better. Now for the most time-consuming part, flipping the ties. There are special tools for this, but I often find they break easily or are not long enough. I simply trim the end of the serger chain and tie it onto the end of a needle. Now simply thread the back end of the needle all the way through the tube. This can actually be dangerous, and I have stabbed myself many times, so just go slow. Feel free to press the sharp end of the needle into a cutting mat or a cutting board while you flip the tube right side out. This should help prevent the needle from slipping and stabbing you. This will take a fair amount of time, but just go gentle and slow or you could pop a thread. Once you get to the end, you could keep the needle on to help you lace it through stuff. Or you can cut it. It's up to you and whatever project you're planning to use this for. If you have created longer ties with multiple connector seams, this part can be difficult to flip right side out. I find the best practice is to just go slow and use a pair of tweezers to gently push those seams through the tube. As you can see, I also struggle with this sometimes. But as long as you are patient, you can get through this. You could finish the ends by sewing them up, but I simply like to tie a super tight knot and then trim the end. As long as your knot is tight enough, it will hold up through washing. And now you know how I make my ties for pretty much every project.
Well, I hope you found that helpful and maybe it will inspire you for your future reworks. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Okay.